just grab some breakfast at my little local cafe near me, down here in the Dawesville area. Some bacon and eggs and tea. Quite a fan of the tea. Today's my day off. I've got a day off today, so I wanted to do something a bit constructive, a bit creative. So I'm going to take you down to one of my favourite spots down in this area. I'm currently in the Beauvard, Dawesville area. So anyway, I'm going to keep driving and I'll take you down to this spot. We'll see how it goes in the weather. I'm not too confident that it's going to be the best day for this and it's really going to do it justice, but on the other hand, I'll give you a bit of a taste, and then it's something for you guys to something for you all to aim towards getting down and checking out yourself. Some of you may have heard of it, others may not have, but we'll see how it looks. See you soon. We're in Lake Clifton now, the Yalgarup National Park to be exact, and we are at the site of the thrombolites. As I suspected, the weather has well and truly come in, and it's pretty damn miserable, I'm not going to lie. So I'll persist, see if it doesn't just clear up a little bit. So some quick information on Lake Clifton on this area. The area is known to the Noongar people, the local TAs, as the Norrook Yalgarup area, and it's still an incredibly important and significant place to the Noongars here. I've been here at times where there have been some traditional owners here. One in particular time was a fella. He was here. He's a local guy and he runs a tour business in a van, and he had a group full of tourists here, and he was out on the boardwalk, and he had his didgeridoo with him, and he spent maybe half an hour or so just playing his didgeridoo out to the thrombolites. And I got talking to him and he was saying that's him paying respect, paying homage to the thrombolites. So there's a very strong special connection between these ancient forms of life and the original traditional owners of this area. From 1840, the lake was named Lake Clifton after Mr. Marshall. Mr. Marshall Waller Clifton, and he was the chief commissioner of the settlement in Australind. This was originally what they would call a lagoon. They reckon this formed about 225,000 years ago, and that was after or during the Ice Age, and the water levels had receded. Basically this lake is a stretch of water that was trapped. A new coastal dune system, which is what we know today for most of this coast, the dune systems that we see, was formed and it trapped water in this lake. The lake exists due to ground-fed water, and through winter, this time of year especially, that's when you'll see a significant change in the water levels, with the ground water levels rising, creating a lot more water. So it's not so much anything to do with swell or high tides, but it's the winter rains that will... I'll get out of that wind. It's the winter rains that increase the ground level, and that increases the level of the lake itself. So that actually, back in 1920, they'd actually tried to harvest some of this, not the thrombolites themselves, but the substance underneath it, the base, the soil, and it was used. It's a lime-based soil, and it was used for cement. It only lasted a few years though because it was uneconomical. But what they were doing was they were draining it out, and then it would get sent to the railway line in Waroona, and from there, I suppose, railed off to wherever it might be needed. But it only lasted so many years, and they killed the project because it just wasn't making any money. Now the thrombolites themselves, they're renowned or known as being one of the very first forms of life in existence that still exist today too, I might add. This particular lake, they call it a reef, thrombolite reef. This is the biggest of its sort in the southern hemisphere. Now this next fact is probably one of the most fascinating facts that I've read to date about this place. This area, as you can imagine, is home to some pretty important wildlife. Just a specific little amount of birds, and they come. These particular birds that they rely on this place. There's some birds that come as far as Japan, China, Siberia, and Alaska. They'll fly across all that land and across all that water to come here specifically, from Japan, China, Siberia, Alaska. That is phenomenal. I'm now going to head to another little spot just down the road, just around the corner. It's another little spot of mine. Kelly and I both, we absolutely adore where I'm heading now. We go there quite a lot. I get asked quite frequently every time I'm there. I'll post something on Instagram about it, and people always ask, where is this? So I'll go now and I'll show you. So this cracking little spot is called Island Point. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is, you can just find it for yourself. I think that's fair. But you should definitely do it and get here because it is just such a beautiful spot. It's a beautiful day use area right on the estuary, and it's Island Point for a reason because this is a big point. You can get access from down there, that's the main access down that way. And then it points around, comes around the point, goes into this beautiful little bay that you can see behind me, and then that just carries on around. And this is the estuary, this is the Peel Inlet, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful spot. I absolutely love it out here. Even now I can hear a wedge-tailed eagle out there making his calls. He's out there trying to find some lunch, I think. Yeah, lots of eagles, lots of ospreys. The bird life through here is just insane. It's gorgeous. So what else do we know about this beautiful spot down here? Well, I'll tell you. October 1989, the 10th Light Horse Bridle Trail was opened. Here is where they were deployed. This was for horse-mounted troops, and this is the section, or part of a section, where they were deployed and where they served. The Light Horse Regiment was actually something that dated back late 1800s, more specifically from June 1900. This is a section that they were deployed in for World War I from 1914. So that's all along here, and that goes from well, where are we? We're here at Island Point. Got Lake Clifton to our west, slightly southwest, and then it goes all the way down to Biddingup, just past Mile Up. So quite a significant stretch. When you get to these little spots like this, you've always got to look for the history, because I'm telling you, it's here. I guarantee it. All these little spots don't just come from nothing. They are embedded with just so much history, and all you gotta do is just poke around a little and you'll find it. So it's on you now to come and find these spots, come check them out. They're out there, they're everywhere. All you need to do is jump in your car and come and find them. And they're beautiful. So that's me for now. I'm going to pack up, go explore a little bit more around these areas before I end up moseying my way home, I think. I'm getting hungry. It's past lunchtime and I haven't eaten and I'm starving. Alright. See you on the next one. Over.